Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight highs here, overnight lows down here. Now, Now, zooming in here. So this is around 8 o'clock right here, which is when I started. And I missed out on a trade early because I was downstairs making breakfast. I guess I'll get into it when I get into it. But so starting off, we had this downtrend, break, new low. And as soon as we made that new low, we immediately make this reversal pattern. Now, it's not the most ideal reversal pattern. You know, it did form a range. It did get kind of choppy. And had an inside bar as the signal bar. It's like completely engulfed by this red bar right here. But it did have the support right here. You know, from that swing there, it reacted there and then there and there. So it's at a good context area. Once again, the downtrend, the big downtrend, just played out with a break and a new low. And then it was chopping straight through the EMA. You know, once, twice, 3 times. So the EMA is clearly not acting as too much resistance right now. So it does look good just for 1-to-1 to get out at those highs right there. Like I said, it's not the most ideal reversal pattern, but it's still perfectly valid. You can't push your target too far. So we push out of there and we get a correction to the EMA over here. You see we have this first leg down, break, second leg down. And this entry right here, like, it's not bad for a scalp. You would have to push it out of the, you know, assuming you got filled, you'd still have to push it out of the trend or out of the range, which you wouldn't want to do, but especially because it's not like a huge picture entry or anything, so you'd want to keep it within the price action level that you're trading. And so, you know, it doesn't even get triggered there, but by the time you get this next entry, it's closing way too high up. You don't want to enter into that. You know, I'm sure it's high probability for a tiny scalp, but then your risk to reward would be out of whack, so I'm not into that. But we push higher here, then we get a break, so this uptrend here gets a break, and so it's in the form of these 2 legs. This isn't really off of anything. You know, I started drawing this. That's not a very significant double bottom. That's just kind of it chopping sideways and then retesting once. That's not enough to go long off of, but it does, in fact, go long off of it there. And so we push higher here. This uptrend here has a break, a couple of legs at a new high, and then I just want to zoom out here really quick. So this leg, I was going to talk about bigger legs for this downtrend, but I'll get into that when I get into it. But so anyway, this uptrend has a break, a couple legs at a new high, and then we start pushing back down. Now, I was looking for something in this area as a reversal pattern from this uptrend playing out, because I was thinking we were getting a bearish imbalance in this overnight range because it's, you know, starting to bounce early before even reaching the other side. And so I was looking for a, you know, failed second entry in here, but it just kind of got choppy. It was really just a lower high if you think about it, because, you know, there's a double top right here. We pushed lower. On a big picture, that's just a lower high, and then you didn't get any perfect bars or anything anyway. But anyway, so then we have this leg down, break, second leg down right here. Unfortunately, we don't get anything. Right at this point, you're just entering too low. You already got those 2 legs down, and basically reached the measured move within a tick. So I didn't like entering on that. But we get this bigger downtrend here, and so we push lower. We start forming congestion right here, and I did not like going short right here because we just pushed so bullishly above the EMA. You know, we did close out of that trend line right here, and, you know, unfortunately, it's just not a very high probability. Even though we were retesting this right here, once again, we did come off the overnight low. You're short, and, you know, then you're pushing back down. You could get a second leg up, and then you're shorting very low is part of the problem. But also, given that you just shot above the EMA, you don't want to enter that, and then it couldn't get back below, so it's just unfortunate. There's not a very good entry here. So, but anyway, we have this second leg up here. We start pushing out, higher low, not off of the EMA, and this breaks right here. So then this uptrend gets a break. So now you can view it as you have this downtrend. Let me draw this really quick. I'm gonna make it thicker just to show it. So we have this downtrend, and then notice how on the first price action level we had this downtrend right here, break, new low. But then as more price action forms, you know, we can really see this as 1 leg down, a break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower right here. And so, and also as soon as it reached that measured move, it just rocketed back higher. So, which I need to Sometimes I accidentally skip ahead when I talk about stuff, but anyway, so we break from here, we go up, then we start to turn back down. We have this push lower, it's just a first entry off the EMA, that's not enough to go long. Then we have this break, second entry, so first entry, long, second entry long, pushing below the EMA, so you're not going to take a long at that point. And then this point just kind of gets confusing. You just rush above, rush back below, you can't enter on stuff like that. And then we start to get this uptrend forming. Notice how, or this downtrend forming. Notice how these lows fit. I was actually getting them off the lows before I got them off the highs. And then it fit really well. And so at this point right here, we push lower, and then we get a second entry, 2 clear legs back while we have this measured move in play. So this downtrend right here, which these measured moves, even though it's not like even though this downtrend right here is a break and a new low, on a bigger picture, this will become one downtrend. And so we have this downtrend, break, first attempt lower, and then the second attempt lower is still in play because we haven't reached that measured move yet. And so when we got those 2 legs back right off this key entry point, that looked really good. Now, I didn't want to enter on this complete doji bar right after a huge spike up, so I waited to close back below, and then it triggered, then I got filled with a limit order, and then just got out before this channel low right here. I was wanting to push it down to the whole the whole measured move, except then I'd have to be pushing it through this trend line right here, and I didn't want to do that because I'd be afraid of it bouncing just a little bit early and then going back higher. So I wanted to get out before this support right here. But anyway, we have this lower high right here right after a huge spike through. That's not a very good lower high. We push lower, we get this, at this point you're just shorting very low if you go short there, so there's nothing to take there. We reach that the trend low right here, and then we immediately reverse here. So as soon as we reach this measured move right here, which I'm gonna make it the same color just for the visual here. As soon as we reach this measured move right here, from this downtrend break 2 legs lower, we immediately rocketed higher. It did push a little bit through it, but as soon as we reached it, we just rocketed back higher. So these measured moves are important levels. It influenced this trade right here, because at first I was actually kind of scared because there was some resistance, or there was some support right here. So you don't want to enter in support, except we had such a big picture measured move in play that I didn't care. And so that these measured moves can influence trades that you wouldn't normally take. So anyway, we push higher here, we get this uptrend break, couple attempts at a new high. You don't want to enter on just that higher low thing, first entry, and then by the time you get the failed second entry, you see first entry short, second entry short, failure, you're closing way up here, you can't enter on that. And so anyway, then we get these couple legs up here, really no entry. Once again, that's just a very sharp move down before that entry, and you're entering high in the move anyway. So we push higher here, rush back below, and then it gets very choppy. You can see there's almost a failed second entry. You can see first entry long, second entry long, failure, but it's really sideways and messy, so you don't want to enter that. Today kind of felt slow for me. Not exactly slow, because there was movement today, but the setups seemed not as good today. There weren't as many, especially in the earlier hours. But anyway, so then from here, after that 2-legged move down, you can view this as a new trend starting. I mean, there is it is a second leg from right here, but on a smaller picture, you can see it as its own trend. It has an uptrend, break, new high, and then immediately rushes back below. And I did not like this right here. It's a lower high. Let me, I had this forming right here. So it was right into the support right here, and it was getting choppy. I really wanted just a failed second entry that, bounced off this low and then got another short entry with room down to the low. But we never got that. You see, I was wanting something like this. Let me just draw it out. And then possible short right here with room down to that low. That's what I was wanting, but instead we just got this lower high directly into that support. That was not something I was willing to enter on. I'm going to leave that there just for the visual. And so we pushed straight through anyway, and at this point we have this sharp leg down. Those 2 legs right there eventually turn into one bigger leg, and then we have this break, and then 2 legs down, making a new low for this leg right here, which of course has to do with this trade right here. So we have this downtrend break, first attempt at a new low, second attempt at a new low. And I liked this because it was a breakout of this, so it's a failed breakout, also of this other level right here, which had held earlier. I was kind of, thinking the overnight low level could be right there because it did hold more there, but I was kind of just keeping tabs on both these levels right here. So that's why I like this. It closed out of the STT, just wanted 1-to-1 to get out before this green trend line here. And it did bounce, and then it came back to scare me a little bit, but it did push on through. So, the context was definitely right there. But anyway, so then this right here, I kind of like, well, I don't just kind of like, I really like this higher low right here because of the momentum. We just had such good momentum coming off of a major area. This is a very important level right here. And also, not to mention, once again, it was right after a perfect downtrend break and then 2 measured legs down. So I really like this area, and then we just spiked higher, and then you could just ride the momentum. Even though it was in that STT right there, it's just a momentum trade at a really good context area. So context momentum trade. I saw a couple people got that, but I was away from the desk, so I missed out on this right here. And you would just want to keep it within the measured move. If you really want to be safe, you can get out before that high, but really you're at a really good context area, so you should just push it through that high, go for the measured move right there, which is what I think RJ did that. Yeah, that's what RJ did, I believe. So congrats to him. Let me draw out how he had it. So yeah, he was lucky enough to get in on this. I was not, but so anyway, that's 8 points right there. That's what he said he got. He got 8 points, he said. So congrats on that. And then I stopped trading like right after this trade right here. So we push higher here. We have the small break, push higher, and then immediately we start going sideways here. So it looks like we're going into some kind of range like this. We have this first leg down, double top, second leg down. It's a breakout of this right here. Let me get all my drawings done. So we have this downtrend. You don't want to enter this until, because this downtrend, that's not a real break and a new low. That's really just, 1 leg down, and then we had that count reset. So I'm not really viewing that as 2 legs down necessarily. I would just want to see the EMA holding at that point. So downtrend break, I would want to see a nice attempt at a new low and then holding before I enter that. So unfortunately, there's just nothing here I like. But it does push on higher here, and then just 1 spike higher. You can't just go short immediately, and then the lower high right there is getting, the terrible signal bar. Then we have this first leg down, break, second leg down. I can draw out this measured move here. Clearly it was holding off of this line right here, and then at this point the EMA is getting very, this looks good right here. Looks like I barely missed that. So you have these 2 legs down. It didn't reach the measured move, but this key entry point right here is becoming stronger. It's clearly there, and it held again right there. So, and once again, the EMA, it's just chopping straight through the EMA. So the EMA is not exactly a concern here. Oh, and one thing I want to address really quick is, so at first I was viewing the day as kind of a bearish imbalance from this overall range. But once you're going sideways long enough, you can just play the range. Like I was afraid of buying at first after we started getting this bearish imbalance, but we eventually were going sideways enough to where you can just play this range. So you can go long definitely. So yeah, I guess that's gonna do it for this video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all found it helpful, and yeah, I'll see y'all next time.